Greetings, Virtual Village family. How are you all doing? You are doing well. It is midweek. We are halfway through this thing, and I hope it has been treating you well. I know it's like chilly most in so many places right now, like burr. It's cold. And what a wonderful time it is to nestle up with a good book, right? This is the perfect time to snuggle up with a good read with your little ones, right? So look, I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to know, do you all have special reading spaces in your home for the little ones in your lives? Do you have a special little corner where they can go and read? Is there a special place in their room? Is there a special place in the living room? Have you created a special place for reading that is just there for the little one to curl up to a book and read, or for you all to do that as a family? I think that is so important to make sure that reading is at the forefront, so much so that a child knows this is your little reading nook. This is your little reading space. And it could be the smallest little space. But as long as she or he knows that that is their space for reading, I think that is awesome. And of course, family reading is what we want as well. Getting together, convening as a family around culturally affirming literature. That is what it is all about. Also making reading fun and creative. What about some ideas? Can y'all tell us some things that you all do to make reading creative? Have you ever done a reading tent? Have you ever done a reading tent, or some people call them forts? I know when I was a child, I used to love to be able to create what I call the tent, and, just taking some furniture, some chairs, or moving things around, putting a blanket over it. And now I have there's an enclosure over me, and I'm underneath the tent in the home, right? And using all kind of imagination with that, bringing a book in there and reading the book together and making it be a story. We actually did a program like that. And it was a part of our Reading Fun Festival that we did every month. And we had tents all around the gym, and the children were able to rotate around to the different reading tents. These are little things at home that can keep reading fun and exciting. Also making sure that you know the interests of the children in your lives, and that you are finding culturally affirming books that reflect those interests. We are definitely about making sure that what our teachers are reading here are varied topics that are of interest to children. It's very important to us that our children are learning their history and their culture. That is super important. But we also want to make sure that when our teachers read, they are reading those whimsical stories, perhaps about a child being afraid of being excited about a dragon under his or her bed, or traveling across space, or doing fun things. And these are characters with brown faces and brown families in front of them. So that is super important. Switch it up, but also find things that reflect their interests. And I guarantee you, if you do the research, you can find something with a brown face that reflects that. And if you don't know and you want some assistance, definitely hit us up at admin@clevercommunities.org, or go to clevercommunities.org and leave us a message there and let us know. Or you can find us on our Facebook page, Clever Communities in Action. And speaking of our Facebook page, Clever Communities in Action, make sure that you have liked that Facebook page, because we are about to only start streaming on our website, which is clevercommunities.org, on our Facebook page, which is Clever Communities in Action, and on our YouTube channel, which is also Clever Communities in Action. So if you have been tuning in from any of the other pages, soon we will not be streaming from those pages anymore. You will not be able to find the Virtual Village family there. So make sure that you go and like Clever Communities in Action on Facebook, and that you subscribe to Clever Communities in Action on YouTube. And again, make sure that you are making this learning experience fun. We are all, especially if you are in the South and you got some snow, I'm pretty sure you are not out and about. You are inside. So that is a great time to nestle up with a great book. So make sure that you guys are doing that, and that the children are doing it as well. They model us. So go on and get your read on. And right now it is time for you to get your affirmation on. Let's get it. It is time.
Greetings, virtual villagers. My name is Shania, and do you know what time it is? Affirmation time! Time to remind ourselves how great we are. So everybody, repeat after me. I am smart. I have purpose. I am confident. I am valuable. My voice is worthy of being heard. I am an asset to my family, school, and community. I respect myself and I respect others. I am beautifully made inside and out. I love my beautiful hair and I love my beautiful brown skin. I am more than enough. Great job, virtual villagers. Can I get a virtual high five? Great job. And always remember how fantastic you are.
Hi, virtual villagers. I'm back. It's Kalia, and here's today's moment in history. Lorraine Hansberry. When it comes to creating art that truly captures the spirit and vibrancy of the times, Lorraine Hansberry was a true artist. Her most notable work being A Raisin in the Sun, that expressed the hardships faced by a Black family in Chicago that has to deal with the 20th century racial tensions. It's heavily praised because it places front and center the dynamics of the Black family. Hansberry was an artist, but that didn't prevent her from being a vocal activist who, along with other Black artists such as James Baldwin, Harry Belafonte, and Lena Horne, tested their then Attorney General Robert Kennedy about the positions of the civil rights. Hansberry thoughtfully believed that escaping racism meant escaping capitalism, which is why she risked her career in the 1950s by advocating for socialism in America as well as in other developing nations. Hansberry also used her stardom to openly criticize so-called Black leaders whose politics and proposals had ignored the Black poor. Hansberry was truly a magnificent person who used her talents to push for the betterment of Black people at home while advocating for those abroad.
This episode of the Virtual Village Show has been brought to you by Truist.
Good morning, students!
Professor Ramona and I are going to be working on fractions today.
Encuentra el país.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him.
Excuse me.
Ay, de nuevo.
Teachers are doing whatever it takes to connect with their students.
202.
And Cox is too, by connecting over 140,000 eligible students in need with low-cost internet.
Who wants to see it again?
With the Connect to Compete program from Cox.
Have you been injured? Do you need to protect your intellectual property? The McPhillip firm can help you. We are an Atlanta-based boutique law firm offering a unique blend of personal injury and intellectual property services. We provide tailored counseling and representation. The McPhillip firm is here for you. Call us today for a free consultation at 404-999-5-LAW. The McPhillip firm. No gimmicks, just results.
All right, you guys. So Shania is always keeping us affirmed. And I hope everybody understands the importance of that affirmation. We run that every day because our children and even adults cannot hear that too much. I worked with youth for a very long time. And unfortunately, I, in my many years of doing this work, I have noticed that a lot of our children suffer from what I call a love deficiency. And self-love is critical. And it is important that our children understand how smart they are, how valuable they are, how talented they are, how beautiful their skin is, and that their voices are worthy of being heard. A lot of times people want to silence our children, and it is important that they understand they have a voice and that they are able to, and that they are worthy of speaking up. So that affirmation is here for you guys. Please use that affirmation, play that affirmation back, run that back, learn that affirmation, make it a part of the daily lives of you and your children. To our little ones tuned in right now, it's all about you. It is all for you. So we hope that you guys jump up and stand up and speak along with Shania as she affirms all of us. And then, of course, Kalia comes through with that moment in history. And tonight it was about Lorraine Hansberry, and it is extremely important to know the stories that are told by us. Most of us, I believe, are familiar with The Raisin in the Sun. And if you're not, run back and check that out. But, right now, there are quite a bit of stories that are out that are being told. And so, again, it's important to know the ones that are written by us, that are written by Black people telling Black stories. So, learn about Lorraine Hansberry more. When we have the moments in history, it is there for us to do further exploration. We give you the nugget, we give you the bite size, the snippet, and we hope that this piques your interest and is an introductory level for you to watch this, for families to watch this together, and then do the research together to learn more, to follow up, know about Lorraine Hansberry and her work, her bravery, what she put forth, her collaborations, all of those things, okay? So we put it out there, and then, Virtual Village family, we put it out there for you guys to go and do the rest of the work. We start the race, and then we want you guys to take the baton and pass it forward. So now it is foundational literacy time. Again, if we are building a building, we know that the foundation has to be strong. If the building has a weak foundation, then the building is going to topple. It will not last long. It will not deal with the weather. It will not deal with any of the elements if the foundation is weak. So we want to build strong readers, right? So that means they have to have a strong foundation. Strong readers become strong learners, strong leaders all around, okay? And they become confident. So now it is time for us to bring on our beloved teacher so that she can deliver that foundational literacy lesson tonight. So let's bring on Miss Owens.
Hello, hello.
There she is. How are you doing, Miss Owens?
Awesome. Wonderful.
Good, good. Well, we are definitely glad to have you here today. Hope you've been having a wonderful week with the little ones, with the little third graders.
Yes. Only had one day because we had. Only had one day because we had, President's Day. So.
Oh, okay. So you only had Tuesday with him. Okay. Well, all right. I know you're getting ready for another day with them tomorrow. And, is there anything that the little ones have shared with you that you feel like sharing with us?
Well, I know some of them are ready to come back to school.
Okay.
They want to see their friends. They're tired of the computer. But then I have some that are happy with the computer. They don't want to go back into school, so it's kind of like half and half.
Six in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
I'm with them. I'm half, yeah, and half, so,
It's a difficult time, and it's not easy. And I'm sure feelings may go back and forth. 1 minute you may feel like, oh, I want to go back, and then there are apprehensions about going back. So it's still a difficult and unprecedented time. I feel like we as adults feel that way, like, oh, things like traveling, getting out, moving around. Like I've heard people like, yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this vacation or take this trip. And then it's like, no, I don't think I should do it. That's the time we live in right now. And last night, as Mrs. Fry talked about, our children are dealing with a lot of things. There are a lot of things that they are dealing with. These feelings of back and forth and all of that. I'm glad that they have a teacher like you to be there to recognize that and to not only to teach them, but to affirm them and console them through this time. So right now,
Yes.
are you ready to teach the children of the virtual village?
Yes, I am.
All right, all right. Well, we are ready for you to come through with this lesson plan and this parent tip. So I am going to step away and let you do your thing.
All right. Good evening, virtual villagers. Again, I am happy to be here with you all to give this wonderful literacy lesson. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple different things. We're going to be talking about long vowels. So last time, we also talked about long vowel patterns and distinguishing long vowels when reading and spelling words. We're also going to be talking about singular and plural pronouns and understanding that proper grammar contributes to the meaning of writing. And the parent tip is going to be something I also talk about when I get to the story, and how when you read a story, have your child draw pictures of what happened at the beginning, at the middle, and the end of the story. And this is definitely going to help with comprehension and understanding what's happening in the story. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first long vowels. We're going to look at some more long vowel patterns. And when we see words that have EA, that's what we're looking at today, EA together, it makes the long A sound, okay? I think it should say the long E sound. So it makes the long E sound, guys. When we have the EA together, it makes the long E sound. All right, so let's take a look at the pattern EA. First word we have is eat. We have eat, eat. So you see that EA makes the long E sound, and then we just put the T on, eat. Our second word is deal. We have D-E-O, D-E-O, deal. Let's make a deal. All right, our third word is leak, leak, L-E-K, L-E-K, leak. And our last word is peach, P-E-Ch, P-E-Ch. You see how that EA makes that long E sound, peach. Great job, virtual villagers, with the long EA, long E sound. Our next thing we're going to be talking about is pronouns. Singular pronouns. When we're writing, we use singular pronouns, and we also use plural pronouns. Now, a singular pronoun takes the place of a singular noun. Singular means one. All right, so that singular pronoun is going to take the place of a singular noun. For example, we have the sentence, the girl went to the store. Now, the word girl is a singular noun. You want to replace that singular noun, girl, with a singular pronoun. We want to use the word she. And so we will say, she went to the store. So the pronoun she takes the place of the noun girl. She is a singular pronoun. We also have some other examples of singular pronouns. We have a singular pronoun, he, I. Those are also some singular pronouns. Now, plural pronoun takes the place of a plural noun, and that is more than one noun. So singular means one, plural means more than one. So our example, we're going to have some cats in here. Cats is our plural noun. The cats played with the yam. The The cat played with the yam. I'm thinking it probably should have been yarn, but so cats is our plural noun. Instead of saying cats, we want to replace cats with a plural pronoun. We're going to say they. So we're going to say they played with the yarn. So instead of cats, we're going to put in the pronoun they to take the place of the noun cats. And they is a plural pronoun. So I have another example of a plural pronoun. Sentence is, my mom and I went for a walk. Now, my mom and I, those are our nouns. My mom and I, those are our nouns. How can I replace those using a pronoun? Instead of saying my mom and I, what can I put in that sentence? Exactly. I am going to write we. We went for a walk. So we is a plural pronoun. Another example is my teacher bought my class ice cream. Now, how can I replace my class with a plural pronoun? Yes, that's the one. So I'm going to say my teacher bought us ice cream. So instead of my class, we're going to put in that plural pronoun us, because us is a plural pronoun. Very, very good, virtual villagers. When I come back, we are going to be talking about retelling a story. Can't wait to see you guys.
All right. Well, that was a great lesson. Thank you so much, Miss Owens. Again, those foundational nuggets are super important for us building strong, confident readers. And that's what this is all about. We do hope that our virtual village family tuned in, that you all understand exactly how important this foundational literacy is, how important a love of reading is with our children, what it means for them as they move on through the learning process and become adults in this society. Literacy is of paramount importance. So we hope that we are pressing that upon you guys, and that if you didn't have such a strong understanding, that we are helping to make it plain, as Brother Malcolm said, that foundational literacy is super important. So with that said, the literacy lessons are important, but the love of reading for a child is super important as well. So we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then Miss Owens is coming back with a story that we guarantee you all are going to enjoy and want to add it to your home library. So you guys hang tight.
After the holidays are over, most Americans prepare for taxes. Titan Tax is ready to make filing your taxes as stress-free as possible. This veteran-owned virtual tax office will prepare and submit your tax return safely from the comfort of your home. If you filed unemployment for the first time or wondering about home office tax deductions, Titan Tax Professional has the answer for you. Contact us today at TitanTax.com or 757-565-7781. Titan Tax, real help from real people.
Welcome back, virtual villagers. I am so excited about reading this story with you today. As I said before, we're going to be focusing on retelling our story. We want to be able to retell the story because that's going to let us know we understood what was happening in the text. All right, so it's a very good comprehension skill. If you're able to retell, that tells your teacher, that tells your parents that you understood what you read. All right, so the story I'm going to read today It's called a real live pet. It's called a real live pet. And it's actually a science. It has some science in it too, because it's going to be telling us about living and non-living things. It was written by Lydia Lukitis, and it was illustrated by Craig Cameron. Only 2 more sleeps until my birthday, sang JJ. He hopped around the kitchen. JJ had been begging his parents for a pet. So what are you going to get me? He asked. A tarantula? A lizard? Or maybe... Now, Jelani, Mom said with a serious face, I told you pets are too much work. JJ sighed and plopped into a chair. Cheer up, Mom went on. We're going to the nature center tomorrow. They have plenty of animals there for you to look at. I have an idea, JJ whispered to his sister, Nala, after breakfast. I'm going to find a pet myself. He grabbed his net and bucket. Nala's eyes widened. Me too, she squealed. I want a pet too. Oh no, what is he going to do? They told their parents they were going to play near the pond by their house. And when they got there, JJ looked around. It was quiet until, ribbit, ribbit, aha, he said. Listen to that. JJ followed the croaking sound. Then he spotted the most awesome frog. It was big and green and spotty. He got his net ready and threw it over the frog. Victory! Oh my goodness. You'll never guess what I caught, he said as he ran inside. A real live frog. Dad smiled, but Mom didn't look too pleased. Nala also showed off her branch. A branch can't be a pet, JJ said. It's not even alive. It doesn't have a face. Well, Dad said, living things don't always have faces. Look at trees or flowers. JJ sighed. Dad loves science, and he really loved talking about science. But that branch was just lying dead on the ground, JJ pointed out. Ah, that's where the science gets tricky, said Dad. The branch may be dead now, but it's still a living thing. That's different from a non-living thing. JJ scrunched up his face. So what's a non-living thing? It's something that is not alive and never was, Dad said. Like a rock or a car? Get it? I guess so, JJ said slowly. But I still don't think a branch can be a pet. I think a branch is a very creative pet, Mom said. Nala, you can keep it. Then Mom turned to JJ. As for that frog, I'm afraid you'll have to return it to the pond. Please, JJ begged. Can't I keep him for just one day? I could take him to the nature center tomorrow. They could teach me about frogs and living things and everything. Right, Dad? I think I'm with Mom on this. Got to take that frog back. Dad grinned, but said, it's up to your mother. Even Nala put on her best pleading look. Mom sighed. Fine, one day. But find somewhere to keep him so he doesn't hop all over the house. Sweet! JJ found a plastic container and poked holes through the lid. Nala put in a handful of leaves. To make him cozy, she said. JJ gently the frog in the container. No. I'll call him Hopper. The next day, they went to the nature center. JJ's favorite room had lots of reptiles and glass tanks. He spotted a big snake. That snake is huge, he said to Nala. Sure is, a friendly voice behind him said. It was a nature center guide. My name's Darlene, she told them, and that there is a python. Pythons are some of the longest snakes in the world. That's cool, said JJ, but I have an even cooler animal. He opened his container to show off Hopper. That's Zooks, Darlene said. That sure is neat. That's a rhino, also known as a good old American bullfrog. I have a pet too, Nala said. She held out her branch. This is Sparky. JJ rolled his eyes. I still say a branch isn't a real pet. Darlene laughed. Why not? Pets should be alive, JJ said. And I'm not talking about living things. I mean, a pet should, move. Actually, plenty of living things don't move much, but they're still alive, like mushrooms, said Darlene. And not alive at all, like water. Weird, for sure, JJ nodded. Now get this, Darlene went on. All living things eat, breathe, reproduce, grow, move, and give off waste. That means they poop. JJ laughed. Hopper definitely poops. Nala frowned. Sparky definitely doesn't. Well, let me explain, Darlene told her. Animals get rid of waste in their bodies by pooping. Plants get rid of waste by giving off gases. It's just a different way of doing the same thing. Nala looked hopeful. So my branch can be a pet. Darlene smiled. Almost anything can be a pet. When I was your age, I had a pet named Herbert. What kind of animal was Herbert? JJ asked. Darlene bust out laughing. He was a pet rock. Nala loved the idea of a pet rock. She said she wanted one too. But JJ still thought Hopper was cooler. He looked down to admire the frog, but the lid of the container was open. Code red, he shrieked. Hopper is gone. JJ ran around in a panic. He looked in the animal displays. He checked the plants. He searched all the tanks. Nala and Darlene pitched in too, but Hopper was nowhere to be seen. JJ slumped down on a bench. He knew Hopper wasn't really his pet, but what if he was gone forever? Ribbit, ribbit, something slimy jumped right onto JJ's foot. Hopper, you came back. JJ picked up the frog and held it gently. His birthday wasn't until tomorrow, but he made a wish anyway. He wished to never lose Hopper again. And when they got home later, JJ grabbed his net and flashlight. Time for dinner, Hopper. He trapped a few moths, just like Darlene had taught him. Then he fed them to Hopper. JJ, Nala said, do you still want a new pet for your birthday? I did want a tarantula, JJ said. But now, he sniffed quietly. He knew he would have to say goodbye to Hopper soon. Mom came to the back door. Why don't you keep that frog one more night, JJ? She said. After all, it's your birthday tomorrow. JJ smiled. Thanks, Mom. The next morning, JJ's family was waiting for him downstairs. A big present sat on the table. JJ ripped off the paper. It was a glass tank, but there was no pet inside it. JJ was confused. Mom beamed. It's a proper home for Hopper, she said. Dad and I saw how well you took care of him. You mean I can keep him? Asked JJ. His parents nodded. Thank you, thank you, thank you, JJ said. He pranced around the kitchen. Then he placed his pet frog in his new home. Hopper hopped around happily. Nala also had a gift for her brother. She handed him a little rock. She had painted it green. There were googly eyes on it. It's a pet rock for Hopper, she said. Her name is Sparky Jr. JJ gave Nala a big hug. Thanks, Nala, he said. I'm sorry I made fun of your branch. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that between Hopper and Sparky, you and I have the greatest pets in the world. And so if we were going to retell this story, we would want to say that JJ in the beginning wanted a new pet, but his mom was like, no way. Then JJ caught a frog and brought it home. And his mom said he could keep it for one day. They went to the aquarium. He lost him at first, but then he found him. And he said he didn't want to lose him ever again. He went home. He was sad because he thought he would have to give Hopper away, put him back in the pond. But his mom, in the end, they bought him a tank so that they could put Hopper in there and he could keep him for a pet. And that was the end of our story, A Real Live Pet. I hope you liked it.
I definitely enjoyed A Real Live Pet, Hopper, and all of that good stuff. That was a wonderful, wonderful story. We got some science action in there. So that was definitely great. And I've seen A Real Live Pet, and I must admit I haven't gone all the way through that. I've skimmed it. So I'm glad that I got to hear the full book tonight. I definitely enjoyed that. And I want to ask, have either of your children ever, do y'all have pets? Have they tried to get pets? Have they ever tried to bring some interesting pets into your home? What is your pet situation?
I'm the one who wants a pet. I've wanted a pet since I was a little girl. I wanted a dog. My mom said, no, she only likes birds and fish, and I don't like birds and fish. So my kids, my older two want cats, and Owen wants a dog like me. So, it's my house.
So what's going to happen? Are you all going to get a real life pet or no?
I'm getting my dog.
They don't know yet. They just don't know yet.
No, that's on my to-do list, my yearly to-do list to get a dog.
All right. And so let's see. How are you doing, sis? Miss Santana is here, and she said her kids want pets, but she is not an animal lover.
I love animals. I love animals that you can actually, birds just make a bunch of noise and look at you, and
you can't snuggle up with a bird. You can't pet your bird, and they don't have much of a personality. Sorry to all the bird lovers, but I feel where you're coming from.
They're annoying.
You don't have the warm family moments with the birds. They don't get in the picture with you. They don't do memorable things. I get it. So are you a big dog person, inside dog, outside dog?
Oh, a little teeny cute little dog that you could fit into a little purse like.
That little? Really?
I mean, not, Chihuahua.
Okay. Because they have the little teacup dogs that they breed that way that are like
I would love that.
I could so
Like,
see
I
you
don't
loving
want one
that.
that's bred. I want to adopt one.
Okay. But I could so see you loving one of those fluffy, tiny little dogs like that.
Oh, man,
And
so
having
cute.
a ball and dressing the dog up as well. I know you would do that. But
Yes.
I appreciate, let's see. And then Santana said they cost the price of kids too. But she's
Dogs
softened
do.
a little on her stance. They are, oh my
Dogs.
gosh, like you got to keep them healthy. They go to the vet, they get their regular shots, all the little maintenance things that they have to have with them. I wonder, like back in the day, I feel like people just had a dog and that was it. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't know because I was little. But now the pet price seems to have gone up, like you do,
Yeah.
like Sister Santana saying you have to, like it's an investment. They are almost, it's right under the children.
You can't really just keep your dogs outside or hang on a chain because my mom's like, you can keep the dog outside. I'm like, nah, Mom, they'll call the people on you.
Yeah, it's a different day and time, but dogs do become, pets, period, become part of the family. They really do. They bond with us and we love our pets. So we are glad to hear about JJ and his experience with his real life pet. That was a wonderful story that I know our little ones will enjoy. And we are glad that all of our virtual villagers enjoyed that story. And please add that to the library of your children. Sister Santana, you may not want to add that one because it might put some pressure on you if you bring that one in the house. So maybe you want to stay away from a real life pet. But for everybody else whose pet situation, is a firm yes or a firm no, we definitely encourage you to add that one. And those of you who are teetering, just bring that one on when things become a little more certain.
I think Owen liked this story too because he is like in this room and he really needs to not be in this room right now.
Hi, Owen. How are you doing? We are so glad to hear that you are in the room. We hope you enjoyed it. As Sister Santana said, she don't need that pressure. She does not need that pressure. So we're going to hold off on a real live pet for now.
Yes. Don't let them read it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
You'll be messing around next time you come up here next week like, y'all, I have a chihuahua. I have a poodle. She will have some kind of pet. So we'll hold off on that one. But we want to thank you, Miss Owens, always. Does he want to say something to us? Is that what it is? Oh, well.
No, go away. Goodbye. Next time. Oh, next time.
Maybe next time we will be blessed with the presence of little Mr. Owen. We would love that. But we want to thank you as always for coming up here and brightening our evenings with your lesson, your parent tips, and the wonderful way in which you read these stories. So we appreciate you, sis, and all that you do here for the Virtual Village family, as well as for what you do with our children on a daily basis.
Same to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right.
Yes. So that was wonderful. Miss Owens and all of our teachers do a wonderful job with, promoting literacy and building, that love of reading. We hope that that's what you all are getting from this program, how important reading is, and having those soothing voices reading the book, and that families can gather around this screen and be tuned into these literary treats. So with that said, we are going to bring on the continuation of our history, our person in history tonight. So of course we have Powerful Peyton, and she is bringing you that quote from Miss Lorraine Hansberry.
Greetings, virtual villagers. I am Peyton, and today's quote is from Lorraine Hansberry. Never be afraid to sit a while and think.
Greetings, virtual villagers. I'm Jamir, and I'm here to bring you today's book recommendation. Kalia told you a little about the talented and outspoken Miss Lorraine Hansberry. Therefore, we recommend Young, Black, and Determined, a biography of Lorraine Hansberry by Pat and Frederick McKissick. You can purchase this book at your local Black-owned bookstore or visit smile.amazon.com and add Clever Communities in Action as your local charity, and Amazon will donate a percentage of the price of your purchases at no cost to you.
So you all heard that quote from Lorraine Hansberry, never be afraid to sit a while and think. And it sounds so simplistic, but I think it's very important that we make sure that we are raising critical thinkers as well. So a part of reading is comprehension, vocabulary. And so, building these strong, competent readers who will become critical thinkers, people who do not just, and especially they're growing up in this information age where information is just thrown out. And even a lot of adults do not take the time to think things through, to decipher what is true, what is factual, what is not. So never be afraid to sit a while and think. Never be afraid to sit around a while and read. We hear people say, well, that's too long. Nowadays, when they post articles, it lets you know ahead of time exactly how many minutes it's going to take to read. So we have already put terms and conditions on our reading. But as the ancestor Lorraine Hansberry said, don't be afraid to sit and think. All right. Thinking has never hurt anybody. It is important for us to be thinking people. So let's use those brains, as they said when I was a child, put that thinking cap on and make sure that our little ones are doing the same. Aretha Franklin also told us, you better think. So that's a lot of, Lynn Collins also said, think. So there are a lot of people who gave us a forewarning that we need to think. So let's make sure that we are doing that and that we are passing that on to our children. Sit a while and think about it. And then let's see, Miss Owen said Owen really enjoyed the story, by the way. I am so glad to hear that Owen enjoyed the story. We love Owen and his personality, and the fact that he loved that story means a lot, because Owen is a sweetie on the inside, but sometimes he tries to make us think that he is a tough crowd. But I've got your number, Owen. I have got your number, and we know that you love your virtual village family, and you know that we love you too, and we are so glad that you enjoyed that story, and we look forward to having you back up here, Owen. We want you back up here. So yes to Owen, and yes to all of our virtual village family. We hope that you feel affirmed. We hope that you have learned a lot today. We hope that you feel well read, that you have been exposed to Black authors and Black literature, and that this is just an all around one-stop shop for literacy and cultural affirmation for you, and that you are feeling very, very good. So with that said, I am going to get on out of here and put some food in my belly because I am hungry, but we will see you guys next week. Make sure that you have liked the Clever Communities in Action Facebook page. Make sure that you have subscribed to Clever Communities in Action on YouTube. And we also stream on clevercommunities.org. We are going to cut back on the other pages that we stream on. So if you are used to watching from any other page, which includes mine, there is a countdown on that. There is a countdown. So make sure you like our pages, and you all have a wonderful evening. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And make sure you get your read on. Peace.
We in our own